You can come in here and you can be civil and have a conversation and not try to shut down somebody's free speech, not try to burn their book, okay? Then you're welcome to come in and we'll have a conversation. If you begin going down ad hominem attacks, you're a bad person after debate. If you assault anybody whatsoever, these fine Port Townsend Police Department that are working so great today with convoys and 3%, we will evict you together.
Start off on a positive note.
Tell that to Joe Biden on his speech the other day.
He's not here.
His followers are.
That's gaslighting.
Someone's uneducated.
Yeah, well, gaslighting costs about $2 more a gallon now because of your president. Like I said, you can be civil. Come on in, come talk to us, man. We don't want to fight. You know who wants us to fight? Your Democratic leaders. They want to fight. They want to show that certain people are not welcome to the First Amendment. That certain people are not entitled to the right of association. That's a little something I know about. My name is Ali Salawin Lahadi. I am an Ashkenazi Jew. I am not a Nazi. My father was born in 1928 and he was a Holocaust survivor. And all of you that want to burn my book right now, you know who you look like? You look like the Nazis. And all the Nazis said, well, we didn't know. We didn't know. You're getting to the I know part. You know what you're doing. You're supporting othering. You have Biden speaking with Marines. That was not a campaign speech. That was the official statement of the White House.
The Fuhrer!
Your Fuhrer. Mimicking Hitler. And you want to call me Nazis? You want to call us white supremacists? Listen, there are many colors in the LGBTQ rainbow. But pedophilia is not one of them. Voyeurism is not one of them. Your rights end where other people's begin. Your wife, your daughter, your children have the right to not sit in the locker room and be watched while they undress their clothes by a member of the opposite sex. Holy shit, what a racist. Can you believe I said that? Oh no.
I can't believe
Stop
it.
tranny grooming.
All I hear right now is a bunch of get out of town. You're gaslighting. F off. Not one of you will come and have a reasonable conversation, though, because you don't want conversation, you want control.
I love conversation. You seem like you're yelling. You seem kind of mean.
I'm sorry, just because you feel intimidated doesn't mean I'm intimidating you. It just means you're cowardice. But moving on.
Just because trans people are intimidating doesn't
Bring her in. Bring her in as long as she's polite. Doesn't attack anybody, no pepper spray. No shooting anybody like you did to our homie down there.
Where?
You guys don't know about Aaron J. Danielson?
Down in Portland.
Where is where?
Portland.
Portland.
Well, we're from Port
He was shot and killed by Antifa members. A guy named Mike Riol. But Mike died screaming and bleeding out. Got shot by U.S. Marshals. See how scared he was?
Yeah.
It was a good day. Do you say that to all Jews or just me, ma'am? Yeah, well, remember, the Nazis were democratic socialists, just saying. Fucking apple don't roll far from the tree, does it? You know what's funny? 3 weeks ago, you guys had an event out here. There was no sign that said you can't wear sweatpants. There was no sign that said you can't wear body armor.
Yes, there is.
There was no sign. There is right now. Try to listen, bud. I can explain it to you. I can't make you understand it. That's God incomprehensible stuff. Give that man a notebook. Anyways, like I just said, 3 weeks ago when you had your event, we're talking about something in the past, bud. Keep up with me. Okay, 3 weeks ago when you had your event, Port Townsend and their municipal powers allowed old women to be bullied, feminists to be bullied, and to be ran out of town. You get on Twitter, you get anywhere on social media, I want you to find one Proud Boy or 3% post that says, we're going to go and fuck that town up. We're going there for violence. I want you to contrast that with Rose City Antifa, all the different little groups that said, you got to run them out of town. Listen, if you find yourself with the torch and the pitchfork, you're being fooled. So it's so funny. We invite people over here to have a civil conversation and debate. But the powers that be that want to invert this nation, this republic, they have no interest in debate. They burn cities and they invest in hate. That is what you do. Not a single one of you wanted to come over and have a single conversation whatsoever. Look at this lady right here. She's literally pointing at an Ashkenazi Jew, the son of a Holocaust survivor, saying Nazis go home. You're pathetic. Would you call me an Uncle Tom if I was black? Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
I filmed it, and I identified Antifa in the crowd, your denial. They are congressionally a domestic terrorist group. The city of Port Townsend sponsored them. The police had a stand-down order to violate their constitutional oath and let us get our heads into the bricks. You don't think they were Antifa? Wait till Antifa comes to your tea party. I'm a lesbian. I'm hated by this town. That's fine. I'm the only person in this town who stood up for David Wall, the trans woman being raped and beaten by people in this town. You guys call me anti-trans, and I am not. You don't believe it was Antifa that beat us up? Well, who was it? Who was it? Why are you lumping these men together? Robert saved my fucking life, and you're calling him a monster! You guys are okay with happening to us? Then you're okay with it happening to you next time. Set a precedent. Real nice. You can call them Antifa or you can call them the Bible Club. Our heads hit the fucking bricks. Those old ladies were bloody, and you're here standing about love with this lesbian? No, you're not.
The community of a town of how many people? Especially when most of these people don't live here. Oh, it shows because the mayor's a pervert. The mayor is an absolute pervert, so it shows. It shows.
Correct, I know.
I live in Washington State. This is just as much an issue as where I'm from. It absolutely does not matter,
We
sir.
said that in response.
Someone has to stand up for the women and children because you sure as hell ain't gonna do it.
No, it doesn't.
So what about the genes? What about your genes and your chromosomes and your penis and your vagina? That don't make you a man and woman?
So,
Do you have kids? Do you have kids? Do you have kids? Do you want another man looking at your child while they undress?
it's not an opinion, man. Man, it's not an opinion. There was a male with a penis walking around performing changing. That's not an opinion.
With adolescent children.
Nothing changes that. That's not an opinion. Can we agree? Okay, let me ask you something. Do you agree on the science? Do you agree on the CDC's findings on COVID? Oh, well, that's actually a surprise. Wow, I'm actually shocked right now. I'm shocked because most of the people that believe that don't believe the science behind genes and being a male and a female.
You better not say that too loud, ma'am. Those people to your left and right will burn you down.
Do you believe in science? And biology?
That's a no.
Do you know what biology is? It's the study of the human body, right?
It is.
It's a discussion of right and wrong. I don't care. You do it to us.
That's called a mental illness.
I'm a fucking
I agree
peacock.
with you. I agree with you 100%. You know where that stops? When you start impeding other people's rights. And it's a woman's right to be in a bathroom without males looking at her. Or at other children. Sorry. You'll never get people to agree with that on either side. There's normies on your guys' side that don't agree with that. What makes it a male and a female?
He still has a phallus.
What makes it a male and a female? Define a woman.
You want to do an experiment? Call the Port Townsend YMCA and say, I am a man and I want to volunteer.
makes you a
Can I
woman?
sit in the women's locker room?
No,
They will tell you no. If that same man calls back the next day and says, I now identify as a woman, they'll say, okay. The law is not supposed to be subjective. When the law becomes subjective, that's how you end up with 3/5 of a human, Jim Crow shit, okay? The law is supposed to be empirical to the letter of the law. If all of you will allow men to watch your little girls undress and your women undress, you're shitty parents.
not okay. That's not okay. It's not okay. So, do you have a granddaughter? Do you have a granddaughter? You're okay with grown men undressing around her.
I'm okay with trans women.
You're okay with grown men. Grown men with
Y'all are just
penises.
mental.
That woman was kicked out of the YMCA multiple times because she was harassing a trans person.
Prove it. If people have been asking for the records are like, oh, we don't have them.
Where are your
Nobody has
morals?
the records of all the times that
Where
she's
are
had
your
disciplinary
morals?
action.
You're a woman,
Where are
right?
they?
You're a woman? You identify as a woman?
100%.
You identify as a woman. Why is that? Why do you identify as a woman? You feel like a feminine. What in your body makes you feel feminine? Hormones, right? You know what I can't produce? You know what? Listen, you know what I can't produce? Eggs and hormones. You know what males can't produce? You know what males can't produce? It's biology. Males can't produce eggs. They produce semen. Women will never be able to produce semen.
Can women get prostate cancer?
Fact. It's a fact.
No,
No
woman can ever get prostate cancer. But a trans woman can get prostate
It's
cancer.
a fact.
So how do you say that no
Do you
woman
produce
can
semen?
have prostate cancer?
Do you produce
but a
semen?
trans
You're
woman-
old
It is
enough
biology.
to produce semen. Do you produce semen?
Hold on. She just said that women cannot get prostate cancer. Therefore, a trans woman is not a woman. It's still a man. When he dies, you're going to go, oh snap, that's a man.
You love me?
If he was disfigured and the coroner sat there and said, we have a 48-year-old man, it's a man. You can have all the hormones, you can even cut your dick off, you're still a man.
Because
no matter
your
what
body
you do,
still
you're a man.
produces semen and testosterone. Like it's, why are we, 10 years ago we wouldn't even have been having this conversation, but now we live in fairy tale land where everybody wants to be a fox or a dinosaur. Listen, I want
Issue material for primary grade. It would nauseate you. It would, if you saw the training clip, which is authentic, it's authentic from the Secretary of Education, Chris Reichdahl's office. It's a training clip.
White men that beat us into a wall. Okay, I guess they weren't Antifa. What would you like to say?
I have some really important question. Okay, so this can happen to anybody, like you said. So it affects everybody, like you said. So if someone, celebrity, like big status, let's say Donald Trump, were to be transgender one day and wanted to go into a woman's bathroom, what would you say about that?
Get the fuck out. Get out.
Get out. If you have male genitalia, you better yet, like everybody who's ever gone to a Walmart or grocery store, like most grocery stores, unisex bathrooms or unisex locker rooms or whatever. They've been around for like, what, 50 years? All of a sudden we have to allow dicks to go into women's restrooms. I don't understand. Why. It doesn't make sense.
I think it's because they want to use the restroom.
We had some.
I think that's why they're going in there.
And use the unisex restroom. My daughter should not be afraid of seeing a dick while she's taking her club.
Do you see dicks every time you go into the bathroom? I don't. I mean, I'm not really looking for it.
Hey, in the YMCA locker room, you don't you?
I don't know. I've never been in a YMCA locker room.
Been in any public locker room?
Where's Julie? You guys are here to support Julie. Where is she? Why doesn't she support you?
Because y'all freaked her out.
Every time you tell that story, it gets worse and worse.
Why do you think, give me one reason why you think Julie isn't here. I don't think it's that. I think it's the mob violence. It's the mob mentality. The left is mob mentality. This is mob mentality.
When there was a protest where they were all standing right there and there was people.
Hello all. My name is Candace Mercer. Today I'm going to talk about what trans rights activists don't want us to talk about. The dark side of gender ideology. The just in time compared to Mises crowd wants you to believe gender ideology is all glitter, bubbles, and rainbows. It is not. I have been a supporter of LGBT rights since the 1980s. I believe in diverse gender expression. I want it to be okay for people to present however they want to present.
Unfortunately, there are many aspects of postmodern gender theory that are harmful to the individual, the family, and the community. The reason Port Townsend is in the news is because of unjust policies that prioritize the feelings of men over the safety of women. Women were attacked in Port Townsend on August 15th for defending their need for penis-free spaces. Two-thirds of the speakers that day had been sexually abused by people with penises. Given the claim that trans women are women, they should have empathy for women. They do not. Today I'm going to talk about one of the most closely guarded secrets, autogynephilia. Autogynephilia involves men who transition later in life due to a compulsive sexual fetish that revolves being seen as a woman.
Shut up and listen.
These men get gender euphoria when they engage in normal female activities and when we treat them as women. Gender euphoria is the Be Kind code for sexual excitement. Erections, boners. To the public, trans rights activists deny the existence of autogynephilia. They claim it is transphobia. They are lying.
Well, then leave.
When you read first-hand accounts that men with autogynephilia post on Reddit, they are open about their gender euphoria, erections, and what triggers them. Due to just be kind gender ideology, these men now have permission to act out their hypno-sissy porn fetishes in public. They get boners when they wear women's clothing and when they shop for women's clothing. This means there are erections in women's dressing rooms. These men get boners when applying makeup, especially in women's bathrooms. They post selfies of their erections on social media and write about the thrill of masturbating in ladies' rooms. I read accounts of men with menstruation fetishes, retrieving used tampons and sanitary bags from the trash. Many carry menstrual products in the hope a woman or girl will be asking for them. That will never happen. Autogynephilic men get boners when other people affirm them as women. That's why they are enraged when they are misgendered. It breaks their sexual spell. It is also why they have intense anger when lesbians reject them sexually. When men dressed as women get erections from interacting with women in women's spaces, we are non-player characters in their sexual fetish. We do not give consent. This is sexual harassment. It gets worse.
Sexual harassment to ask if you have
autogynephilic men hate women. They despise us because they cannot be us. On Reddit, they are comfortable expressing envy, resentment, and the desire to hurt women. It is one of the purest forms of misogyny I've ever seen. But the ugliest aspect of autogynephilic men is that they use children as a shield for their perversions. They promote and hide behind gender ideology to ratify and protect their fetish. Gender ideology gives these men unlimited, socially sanctioned access to women's spaces, including prisons, homeless shelters, breastfeeding forums, and domestic violence support groups. Children are groomed by gender ideology to mutilate their healthy bodies, destroying their chances for a normal life. No child is born in the wrong body. Children cannot consent to puberty blockers. Children cannot consent to cross-sex hormones that leave them sterile and unable to orgasm. Children cannot consent to double mastectomies, hysterectomies, vaginoplasties, castration, and phalloplasty. Synthetic sexual identities are disabling children and making them dependent on drugs for life. Are you okay with this? Are you? Enough is enough.
That's right, we don't want you
I refuse to accept autogynecophilic men and their erections in women's spaces. I refuse to deny biology. I refuse to sacrifice children. I refuse to be silent. Thank you.
LGBTQ rainbow, but pedophile and order is not one of them. Your right
lies about it, and you believe them. You believe the government over your own neighbor.
Your wife to sit in a locker room and have a man stare at her while they undress. You are a failure. But I do want to thank all of you for coming out, because without all of your attention, this wouldn't be on the national news. And when you help us get on the national news, you increase my membership by 1,776%. So you can say inconsequential, but your fearer got on the TV the other day and said it's the biggest threat. So when you sit here and say you're inconsequential, I want to thank you for making us so substantial.
That's convenient.
What's convenient is the woman staring at a Jewish man with a Shana Tov, a L'chaim. What's up? So somebody's a Nazi if they disagree with you, right? What is the predication? And some other dipshit over here goes, well, where is Julie? So now you suddenly care about individual rights? No. Good. I know you don't. Good answer. We'll leave it right there.
No. Julie said that you're IQ. I want to know where
you're doing that wrong. Hey, Premium B. Let me show you how to do it. You're doing it wrong. Thank you so much for growing our numbers. Thank you for spreading our message across the international airwaves. Without your anger, without your vitriol, without your bigotry, without your fascism, none of this would be possible.
we're building our numbers because of you.
Hey, take off the diaper. I can't hear a word you're saying.
We're building our numbers too.
Yeah, it's going really well. How's that Build Back Better going? Huh? Ain't nothing beats $5 gas.
Where's 200? This isn't 200.
Yeah, that's right. That's because we literally call ourselves the 3%. We're not collectivists like you. We're not statists that go and seek consensus from a group to determine what is right or wrong. We take a stand for our principles. You're a bunch of sheep that gather together. But when you're on your own, you are quiet as a mouse. Where's that acrobat from the other day? Where's the aggression? Oh, you guys are nice and calm now, aren't you?
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'd like to thank the mayor first off for inviting us here today. It's a beautiful city.
And I was all like, oh, good.
It is unfortunate, however, that this city has not been respecting its elders. It has not been respecting women's right to privacy in the locker room. Men should not be allowed in the women's locker room. You will not gaslight us. We know you are not a woman. You are still a man. It doesn't matter what you say. All that matters is the biological reality that you were born with male genitalia. That does not, you can say whatever you want, but that does not give you the right to be in the same changing space as women. Whether they're old ladies or young girls, you do not belong in that space. They have a right to privacy.
Oh, I do want to argue about this because I think it's ridiculous. So that makes it morally okay? So that makes it morally okay though? Because the one business says it's okay? So you don't see a problem with it. That's what your bottom line is. You don't see an issue with it.
Nobody else sees a problem. There's one right there. I don't see a reason.
But what if one woman does? So they should leave, not the transsexual.
No, the transsexual.
So you agree if one person's not okay with it, they should leave. Well, that's what happened. They kicked her out, not the transsexual.
Well, what I'm saying is I think I want to leave myself to be a trans. At the end of the day, it's a private business and they're allowed to do whatever they want.
Okay, so quick question.
However,
do you have kids?
If I were to be running,
do you have kids?
If somebody had a problem with a transsexual person being inside the bathroom, it was my employee, I would make that employee leave the bathroom. Just to be simple. And they can break it. I'm on either side here, so I'm really the wrong person.
I'm not really interviewing, I'm just talking to you because you're a good old boy standing here and I'm trying to figure out what you're doing.
I don't want to be labeled as a proud boy.
No, you're just a good old boy. I didn't say proud, I didn't use any of that. I said good old boy. I mean, you're a good old boy. You look like you work hard. You look like you don't really agree with all this shit. I mean, it just kind of seems weird.
Do you have kids, sir? Do you have kids? Do you have nieces, nephews? Would you want a trans man watching them undress in the bathroom?
No, if I was in the bathroom with my kid, I'd probably don't believe it. I would feel comfortable with that. I'd expect something.
Yeah, that pretty much signs it up right there.
I'm all about finding common ground here, so I can tell them that. I don't speak for everybody here.
Clearly. Because everybody here thinks that a man should be in a woman's bathroom. Everyone over there.
Hey, can I get...
April Morrow, I was here a few weeks ago to support Julie Jamon. I was pushed, I was shoved, I had both of my suffragist flags stolen by a mob that was very disrespectful towards a group of women, elderly, older than myself. How is it that women come out to speak and are shut down and pushed around and threatened? What is happening to the freedom of speech for women? I'll tell you what's happening. It's being shut down. We're witnessing it over and over and over again. I founded Sovereign Women Speak last year because I found out that there were males inside Purdy Prison. Right here in the state of Washington, we have a serial killer inside the women's prison. Women are being terrorized every day, being locked in with rapists, baby killers, pedophiles, with men claiming to be women because they feel like a woman. No man on the face of this planet knows what it feels like to be a woman. Period. Joe Biden signed an executive order conflating gender and sex. That's a big problem. Women lost their rights under the law. Women, you should be irate. You should be on the top of your roof screaming everything that the suffragists fought for. We lost because Joe Biden signed an Equality Act to protect a very small percentage of people. You don't give up the protection of 51% to protect 0.8. Okay, that's madness. Women need protection under the law. In 20 states, red states, women have their rights back. In the blue states, we don't. We still don't have our sex-based rights. That's a big problem. We need protection under the law, women. It's very serious. And this goes way beyond sports. It goes way beyond prisons. What we have here, if you look at the very small percentage of gender dysphoric, but yet you look at how many people are trying to change their body, this is a social contagion, okay? It is caused by a culture that we live in. I don't know about you, but I'm 57 years old, and I grew up with a backyard, a pond, The LGBTQ, the medicalization of our children went from $9.9 billion